What's going on YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Coming to you with another review for Queen Sugar. Episode 4, Darker Sooner. Anybody can tell me what that means? Darker sooner. Is it a old saying? I know a lot of old sayings. I'm country as a sugar sandwich, but I don't think I've ever heard darker sooner. Is it a play on words? I know a darker the berry, the sweeter the juice, and I know sooner or later, and after a while, but darker sooner. I'm confused. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Put it down there in the bottom in the comments, okay? Let's get into this review, you guys. Scene opens, show opens with Ralph Angel at the bank, and he's going through a battery of emotions. He's excited, but he's frightened. He's scared. He's got, this weight on his shoulders. Obviously, his sisters believe in him. Charlie's put $100,000 in the bank that he can use to buy seed and equipment, just whatever he needs to get done. That's going to get him started in the process. I mean, he needs to get this seed in the ground really, really quickly. Seed cane. And evidently, seed cane is not a seed, but a stalk that you put in the ground and then root off, I'm assuming. So, we see Ralph Angel leave the bank. We see him, happen upon Remy. He's super excited that he's going to do the farming. Remy's shocked because, remember, Charlie's come to him about finding a farm manager. And Ralph Angel lets him know, hey, yep, gonna do this thing and gotta run off and get seed. And says, well, oh, okay, so you guys have registered the farm with the state already. That's pretty awesome. And Ralph Angel's like, in that moment we realize he has not. When he gets in the truck, we see by his face he has not. But he's thinking to himself, I'm gonna figure this out as I go along. Let me get to work. Let me pick up my baby. Let me go get the seed cane, and I'll talk it through then. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Charlie calls him. He never mentions the state. He never says a word about the state. Okay, pride, right? Pride, yeah. And she's saying, are you sure you can handle this? If you have any problems, if you need more support, if you feel like you're drowning in this situation, let me know. I got this, Charlie. Pride, right? She says to him, Ralph Angel, it's important that this go well. It's important to me. I got this, Charlie. He goes on, he goes to work, talking to a dude at work. Dude lets him know, hey, he lets the dude know his dad died. Dad left him some property. I'm gonna farm the property out. Dude says, hey, I understand. My cousin's got a farm. His farm is going under right now. It's not doing well. He's trying to sell everything he can to get out from under this debt. And Ralph Angel was like, not what I wanted to hear. Guy's kind enough to work his shift while he leaves early to go get the seed cane. He leaves to go get the seed cane. Gets down to the seed cane place, and they closing up. He wants to get in. Talks to the guy, runs it. The guy lets him in. Guy looks on the list and said, hey, sorry, that parish is all sold out. All sold out? No, it can't be. Yeah. So evidently it's like a lottery type situation where first come, first serve, you know what I mean? Early bird gets the worm. That would be me. So, he leaves there. He doesn't know what he's gonna do. Gets back to his job and talks to his coworker and he says, "Hey, your cousin, take me out to stand. Maybe he has some seed cane." We also see um, Nova's called Ralph Angel several times throughout the day. And when he realizes he can't get that seed cane and she calling him to check on him to see where he is, he's frustrated. He's upset. Why? Because he need a right now solution. He don't have time for somebody else to be calling him and questioning him. He does not. Okay? You ain't calling me with no solution? Don't call me. Okay? So he kind of takes it out on her. And she's like, "Well, I'm sorry." He's like, "Where are you? What are you doing? How you coming along?" You know what I'm saying? I understand. Charlie is in all the way in California, but you right here. What's your excuse? And she's like, "I'm working on a story." You always working on a story or a hood crisis of some kind. So we know that this is a passion of hers. These injustices exposing them, that is a passion of hers. So um um he just let her know. You stay in these jailhouses seeing all these other random dudes. How many times did you come see me? Twice? I was like, "Ooh, Nova. I'm an isolator. So if I tell you isolating, you isolating Nova." I digress. Um, Later on we see Ralph Angel. Once again, he doesn't even tell Nova, about the fact that he didn't get the seed. Later on, we see Ralph Angel with this seed that he's acquired from this his co-worker's cousin, and he's called Remy over to check it out, look at it. He should have took Remy with him when he bought it, but I digress. He's so busy trying to make things right, and instead of asking for help, pride keeps him from doing asking for help, and he goes off half cocked. Turns out that the doggone cane got something they call smut, which is a fungus that kills the cane from the inside out, and it doesn't produce any sugar. He paid $15,000, y'all. $15,000, and just the weight of that. Not just that he's wasted this money and he has nothing to show for it, but what is his sister going to say? What would his dad say? His dad would have never done this. I'm finally going to be mad. Am I cut out for this? All of this, you can just see it just really, really is bearing down on him. Later on in the episode, we see Ralph Angel coming in with Blue, and Nova's there, and Nova and Blue hug, and it's great. And we see that Nova apologizes to him, for not coming to see him in jail more, and for not being as focused on her family as she is helping others. And I think she apologized too because she wasn't present. And this thing has happened to Ralph Angel. She appears to know what has happened with the $15,000 in the seed. It's like a kind of a live and learn moment, I think. Anyway, Ralph Angel's got to ask for help. We know this, right? And he's got to deal with some of these. To me, they got to really, really stay on Ralph Angel. Not just because he's new to this, being solely the only person responsible for planting and harvesting, but because Ralph Angel clearly has some anger issues. Okay, let's talk about Nova next. Again, we see this conversation between Charlie and Nova, where Charlie is sort of trying to manage Ralph Angel and Nova. She's trying to help manage Ralph Angel, but she's also trying to manage Nova into managing Ralph Angel on their behalf since she's down there. And Nova's like, "Look, I'm busy. I got a story. I told y'all I didn't want to be involved in this. I told you I would." No. What you said was you give it a year. You know what I'm saying? You want to just put that thing on autopilot, and Charlie's not having it. She's holding her accountable. She's stressed out because she's on a really, really huge story. And it's what we're finding out is this guy that she went to see last week, this young kid, is actually the kid brother of a dude that she knows. Okay. And this guy's kid brother, and this might be the guy that was there in the first episode, the one that came and got the Mary Jane from her. Anyway, she's going around and she's interviewing people who've been in the system, men who've been in the system, and she interviews this guy who's a dishwasher, and he tells a story about how he had this really, really small infraction, and he was thrown in prison for a year until he took the plea deal. And he talks about just how much was taken from him, just how broken he was during this time, and after this time, it's not being able to recover. That was a hard thing for him to go through. Um, so while she's there, she gets a call from Calvin, who is her part-time lover, and he tells her that this friend of hers, kid brother, is in the hospital. What? Meet me at the hospital in 1 hour. Goes to the hospital. Calvin takes her in the back way, this closed part of the hospital. And, she sees this kid, and he's pretty busted up. He's pretty beaten up. And it's a very disheartening sight. And what happened to him? She asked Calvin, and Calvin says, oh, well, the warden said he fell. He must have failed and bounced a couple of times. Anyway, she immediately prays for the boy and speaks life into him. And she's weeping and crying. She's a really, really passionate person. She's very compassionate. And she has a lot of empathy. And you see through these tears and how she just begins to really, really pray and intercede for this young man, intercede on his behalf, and just speak life and a blessing, a covering over him, that he be able to endure through this until she can get this article written and get it exposed and hopefully get this boy out of the prison system. So even with all of this compassion and emotionalism, she has a presence of mind of taking this boy's picture. So she takes his picture, and she also, I think, pans down and takes a picture of his arm, which has a tattoo, birds, and a tattoo that says blessed. Now this arm is also handcuffed to the bed rail. And I think she takes the picture of that too. And that little small scene of the tattoo and the word blessed speaks volume, because a lot of people in Christendom feel that if you're truly blessed, you're not persecuted. But we know that's not true by Jesus's walk, right? You can be blessed, you can be gifted, and you can still be persecuted. And we need to just get out of this idea that you're too blessed to be stressed. No, you're too blessed to be complaining. Stress is going to be there. You're too blessed to accept it. But you can be blessed and persecuted, and you can be blessed and stressed. That's all I'm saying. That's what I got from that little small snippet, right? Later on, we see Nova go to her editor. She talks to her editor, and she says, hey, we got to do this article. I can get you the copy by midnight. And he's like, I don't know. You have more stories. She starts rambling it off, telling him. He's like, hey, listen, my father was OB cop back in this such and such parish. And she's like, okay. And he's like, I'm just saying. She's like, and my mama was a voodoo priestess from the bayou. Okay, I love this moment because, one, we learn a little bit more about Ralph Angel and Nova's mom, but two, because she's saying, I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. In other words, I come from a long line of fighters. If you saying I'm gonna have a fight on my hands, bring it on. This ship was built for that storm. Okay? Okay? I ain't never scared. I ain't never. I'm so hood. Got my arms around my waist. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, um, so get me some more information and I'll run it. This is what the kind of stories that we want. So she goes out and she meets with this woman who I think either represented the NAACP at one time or is currently the lawyer for the NAACP. They've not always had this real copacetic relationship, but I can clearly tell that she and this woman have respect for each other. P lawyer clears it up for her. They're talking and she tells her, wait, wait, wait. You got the story. You missing it. It's about the labor. They're pulling people in on these really, really minuscule charges, forcing them to take these ridiculous pleas, which leads to ridiculously long sentences, which puts them in jail in this sort of workforce, which slave labor. It's free slave labor. They pay these inmates 3 cents a day, 10 cents a day, maybe 15 cents a day, perhaps. And they are making billions of dollars off the back of inmates. And what she's learning from this NAACP lawyer is that police departments, sheriff departments, they're all funded by this money that's made from the prison system. So when Nova takes all this information back to her editor, this is where how she convinces him to go ahead and print the story, which he does. And when Nova gets all this information, her editor goes ahead and prints this story. We see Nova talking to Aunt Violet after the story has been printed, and Aunt Violet is shocked by this story. She's shocked by this information. Like, she is floored, as anyone would be. How can this be real? And Nova's like, I know, right? Because they both are acutely aware of what we should all realize now after having seen the story unfold. This is about slave labor. She's talking to Aunt Violet. They both are acutely aware. This is slave labor. It's a gerbil wheel, and you need the gerbils to run the wheel. That's what, why they're throwing these brothers in jail off these ridiculous charges. They're using them. It's slave labor, y'all. It's slave labor. Just sit with that for a minute. Oh, okay. While Nova is there, she tells Aunt Vi, should I put the okra in the hot water now? If any of you guys know why she need to put the okra in the hot water, please, y'all, put it down in the comment below. I'm so confused, and I feel like this is something I need to know, okay? Aunt Violet tells her that it's a really, really good article. It's a good read, and she knows that Ernest Papa Bodalon would be proud of Nova, and Nova needed to hear that. She doing it not just for her daddy, but she doing it for her mama too. I got a sneaky suspicion she a lot like her mama, and she's as passionate as her mom was. So this is important to hear this. Aunt Violet also shares some things with Nova about her own insecurities. It's saying, I'm missing Ernest. I don't even want Hollywood to go to work. I want somebody with me. I'm happy one minute, I'm sad the next. You guys seem to be doing good, you kids. Nova says it. We just making it look easy, but we're all suffering having lost daddy. Later on, we see Nova and Ralph Angel at the end of the show, where they come in, and like I said, Nova apologizes for having ignored him, for having not been as loyal to him while he was in prison as she is with these people who are essentially strangers. And I think there's a moment where she acknowledges that he has made this mistake, and It's bought sense, as my daddy say. In the sense you pay for, you never forget. Let's move past it. Let's move on. With regards to this sugar cane, this smut, this fungus in the sugar cane. And it's a really good moment. I mean, they hug. They clearly love each other. We also see for the first time in this scene Nova with Blue and their closeness. So I really enjoyed that Nova's character this episode. I feel like really revealed a lot about who her character is. Okay? And I really enjoyed it. Okay, let's get to Charlie now, guys. First, let's do I'm Violet. I'm Violet in Hollywood. Mm, got the music playing in the background. They just finished, getting it on. He got to get him something to eat. She stayed cooking. And clearly she's been pestering him about not leaving, saying I'll work a few more days. And he lets her know in his own little way. I already took off for the funeral. I can't take off no more time. I'm gonna lose this job. And she's just like, whatever. Because she wants him to be around all the time. Now we've seen these little snippets of Aunt Violet's insecurity. She mentions it with Nova. Okay. Later on, we see Aunt Violet come to terms with that when she talks to Nova. And then in the last scene, when Hollywood comes over to have dinner with Ra and Blue and Nova, he goes into the kitchen. You still mad at me? And clearly she's not, because she made him an apple pie. And she made him some oxtails and ham hocks and collard greens and mac and cheese. Look at that. I need to slow down. Anyway. And she's not mad anymore. And y'all, he really loves her. He does. Now, there is going to be some stuff to happen. But like I said, as of right now, I'm prepared to forgive Hollywood for all his infractions. Okay? As of right now. Let's go to Charlie. Boy, Charlie is having a time, y'all. She got to manage what's going on down there. She got to trust Nova, and she got to trust Ralph Angel. But right here, right now, she got a real thing going on. She got a young son who is 14, impressionable, in school, in the age of Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter. And she got a husband who has clearly made some mistakes, and those mistakes are all over Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, the whole nine. She's also not just a wife, but a manager, okay? And she, is there talking in the office, talking to her assistant and talking to Davis's agent. Well, earlier, she's, and she's clearly stressed out. Well, earlier that day when she calls Ralph Angel and, double checks and triple checks on what's going on and expresses to him, how important it is. She's in the doctor's office. She's in the gyno office, and the doctor come in and say, hey, listen, you already had a pap smear. What you here for? And she said, I'm not just here for a pap smear. I need all the tests. I need to be thoroughly checked out, which means she needs the whole full battery of STD testing. And I just think about what she looked like. Her hair is beautifully colored. It's beautifully cut and styled and ceramic flat iron. She's obviously in a very upscale doctor's office because she's got a full-on robe with a tie and everything at this doctor's office. So no hindquarters out and all of that. But even with all of this manicured success, she still could have a clap. I mean, herpes don't care who get it. And that to me is really sad. It also speaks a lot about being envious of other people's lives, because you don't never know. Anyway, um, after that, she goes into the office, and there's the assistant and Davis's agent, and they're trying to sort of all brainstorm about all of these endorsements that they're losing, that they're backing out and renegotiating and trying to get these endorsements to hang on. I mean, after all, this is not just her job, all of their jobs, and his success is their success. I mean, all of their bills, this, his success is what pays for their lifestyle, pays their salaries. So it would behoove all of them to work towards, um, keeping these endorsements. And she's very dismissive to the agent. To you know, this woman, I can't remember her name, but it's nice, nasty. She don't have a problem with the woman, but she got a problem with the woman. Now, mind you, the woman that he cheated on her with, to me, looks similar to the agent lady. To me, and that's got to be playing with her psyche too. I remember after I saw Rosewood, I didn't like white people for a long time, so I have to be real, real careful, or I mistreat people, good people, okay, thinking they all bad. But anyway, she's frustrated too, so that's another reason why she mistreats her. She dismisses the lady and tells her she talked to her later. Well, after she realizes, she goes and sits down with Davis and talks to the team owners or coaches or whoever they are, and sort of just try to negotiate. You guys, at least don't drop him from the team, and at least release a statement of support. We need you to do this. They don't want to do it. What about the other players' wives? Well, they've rallied their fences and they're trying to um, take care of just them. And she's like, oh, okay, all right. So she leaves there. Davis is trying to invite her to dinner. I mean, he acting like he just don't even want to deal with all of this. He just is like, I just hold the ball and lets her handle all the business. He wants to go to dinner. She's like, go on. Goes back in and talks to the coach or whatever he is, and she says to him, hey, we've done a lot for you guys. We went to bat for you guys. We spoke up on y'all behalf. You wouldn't even have a team without him. He tells her, look, 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 look. Word on the street is there's a rape kit. Okay? And the way you acted out on that court don't help either. All of this stuff, everybody's responsible. They've all got feel this huge sense of responsibility, not just to borderline land and the farm, but to their own individual lives and passions. And you can see it for each one of them, this overwhelming sense of responsibility. And now this sense of accountability for your siblings, towards your siblings. Um, we see that she goes to a restaurant, and probably at the paging of this agent, she gets there, the agent's there, and one of the wives from the first season, from the first episode, is there. She's talking to the woman, and the woman's kind of blowing her off. Well, yeah, I've been meaning to contact you and all this stuff, and woo woo woo, and sorry to hear about your dad, and woo woo woo. Anyway, Charlie's like, let me get the bill. Oh, you don't have to do that. That's the least I can do, since I hadn't talked to you in so long. Okay, that's rich woman shade, because I wouldn't pay for Jack. But anyway, later on we see her and this agent, and she threw shade to the agent. I don't know if it was just to throw the woman off or what. I don't know if they had conversation and decided to pick the lady's brain. But she meets the agent in the bathroom, and the agent woman tells her all the dirt that this woman has told her. And it's from this information that Charlie has made the decision to fire their current lawyer and bring in this other lawyer, who happens to be Liz from Nip Tuck. Y'all remember Liz had, I think, black hair and then reddish brown hair at some point in the series. But this time she's got all gray hair, golden gray hair, and it is beautiful. She looks really good. She's thin. Her skin is beautiful. what's her name? I think her name is Roma Mafia. Well, she meets with her and Davis, and they go over what their options are. I mean, you can fight this with everybody else, or you can make the situation go away. Charlie want to make the situation go away. Davis is like, come on, Charlie. I'm like, oh, okay, so you'll have an orgy with one woman and 55 men, but you can't, you know what I'm saying, get the hookup and make this situation go away? Come on. That's like hoish women that don't believe in abortion. It's oxymoronic, in my opinion. Anyway, Charlie makes the decision, make it go away. Um, she's talking. We see her later on talking to Remy, and they flirting big time, heavy, 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 heavy flirting. I mean, they gonna end up doing it in the sugar cane field. Uh, uh, uh. And I think he's going to try to help manage, find a manager for this farm, land and everything, and help Ralph Angel out with this whole smut situation and getting seed cane. She gets off the phone with him, gets a call from the school office and realizes her son has been suspended, runs down to the school. Just her now, where's Davis? We don't even know. We're not even going to involve him. He got enough stress trying to undo this. Okay, anyway, gets to the school and um, she takes Micah to school earlier on, a couple of days before, and has a talk with him about, this perception of African American males and this need with social media and media in general to demonize the African American male. He's not really sure where she's coming from. He doesn't understand, but it's unfortunate. But she has to have this conversation with him about the fact that even though he is privileged and in private school, that there are some people out there that um, will never let you forget that you're black. Yeah, 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 mom, and gets on out the car. Meets Stella. Stella mom is there. Charlie smiles at Stella's mom, and who's a Caucasian woman smiles at Stella's mom, and Stella's mom is like, Charlie's like, oh, we see Micah over Stella's house at Stella's request, and Stella's mom tries to make up this excuse to get Micah to leave. Micah doesn't get it. Stella doesn't get it. So then she flat out asks him to leave and tell him to call before he come next time, and she'll let him know if he can come over. He's so confused. He don't even know what to do. It's not good to shelter your children too much. I don't care what nobody say. It's not good. You better teach them, or the world gonna teach them. Anyway, uh, later on, we see the reason why he's gotten suspended is because Micah has said that this dick pic that's in her phone is actually Micah's. Of course, y'all know Charlie mad smart. And so she's arguing the point. She's 14, he's 14. They're saying we have a no nonsense policy. She wants to see the pictures. When she see the picture, Micah glances at the picture and runs out. She goes after him. Shout out for running in heels. I used to be able to really do that. Now I will tiptoe my ass off. You ain't got to fall but one time before you do that. um, she makes him tell her. He finally lets it out the bag. That wasn't my penis. She's cheating on me. She is getting dick pics, but it ain't for me. He's so hurt. It's like first love devastation. And she's hurt for him. It's a mess, y'all. It is a mess. It's a mess. But remember, kids kill themselves over less. It's a serious thing. We have to learn how to acknowledge and support our kids' pain, okay? And help them work through it. This is the kind of stuff depression is bred from. Um, Later on, we see Charlie go by herself to the lawyer's office, and she gets the report that the woman they offered the woman $500,000, and Charlie's like, yeah, dog. Well, is this the price we gotta pay to get rid of this and get back to normalcy? Cool. The lady's like, wait a minute. Here's the thing. She didn't take the 500,000, and Charlie's like, what? What? Why wouldn't she take it? Episode ends. It's gonna be a trip next week. And then if you go look at the cast list, you'll see that Stella's only in 2 episodes, so we won't see Stella again. Okay. And we see some other little small children pop up that we don't know who they are. Okay. It's gonna be big, y'all. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be some mess. It's gonna be big. But listen, I'm not gonna hold y'all any longer. Um, if I haven't said it before, let me go ahead and say this. Thank you guys so much to you guys who have liked, comment, and subscribed to my videos. When I started doing Queen Sugary videos, I had 1 subscriber, and now I have 12. And it blows me away. It's amazing. The fact that you guys like my videos and have subscribed to me. Y'all don't know. It just really encourages me and makes me want to keep forging ahead and doing these YouTube videos. Until next time, YouTube, I'll holla.